What's going on, guys? Raul here. So today's a very iconic day for us, guys. We're starting something new, something to help out the community, something to help y'all with y'all's battles, mental health, and just to help y'all with life, to motivate you, to inspire you. This is built to inspire. So I'm the host, Raul Meneses, and we also have Nino the artist.
What's going on?
So today, guys, our first guest is gonna be a good friend, a good mentor, Yazir Saldivar.
What's up, you guys?
So Yazir, how you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling pumped, man. Thank you for having me out.
It's a pleasure, brother. It's a pleasure. You know, the first guy that I wanted to be in this podcast was gonna be you, man. I was like, came to my mind, brother. Came to my mind. So tell me, man, how's everything been? I know you have a kid on the way. How are you working with all that?
I'm pumped, dude. I mean, it was kind of planned. I already have 5 years with my girl, so we felt like it was a good next step to take.
Beautiful, bro. I love to hear it, man.
Yeah.
Wish y'all nothing but success, man.
Thank you, brother.
And tell me, bro, so how has it been with your business and then having to kind of look out with her, with the kid coming? How have you been handling all that stuff?
I mean, she took a break from her business temporarily to just dedicate time towards, the pregnancy and just making sure everything's good and just focusing on health. So I've been able to focus on work, and it's been going good, man. It's been going good. I'm just doing my part on the business side, and she's doing her part of, taking care of her health, making sure the baby's developing good and all that
Awesome,
good stuff.
bro. So it's very cool, man, because I've known you for such a long time. I've seen you since the days when we were like 16 years old, and now you're a grown man. You have your businesses, West Texas Acquisitions, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me a little bit more about that? How does that work?
Yeah, dude. So the way it happened really is we had some businesses that we needed to close. The locations we had picked weren't good locations, and we were selling them, but I had reached out to like local people that do that, and I realized, other cities in El Paso, other cities outside of El Paso had business brokers, but El Paso necessarily didn't. So like you go to Phoenix, you go to San Antonio, you see there's a bunch of business brokers. And I had reached out to a guy here that was doing it, and then I see he's only putting his ads on Craigslist.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, how are you gonna sell a business just on Craigslist? Just posting it, that's where you put an old truck or something.
Yeah, of course.
So, in trying to help my family sell that restaurant that we were wanting to get rid of, I took the classes and the courses on how to do that, and then ran into good sites where you could list them and stuff, and then got my first practice on our own business, and then just started offering it out to other entrepreneurs because it's needed here. There's no one here to really help you when you do want to get out of a business or retire, or I even get people that are stationed at Fort Bliss, and they opened up a business and then they get stationed elsewhere, and they're like, man, I can't run this business anymore. I need to get someone to sell it, or I need to pass it on to a family member or something to keep that revenue flowing from that business.
Yeah. That's really cool stuff right there, brother. I love that. And what's been the most challenging thing with that business going on?
I would say, I guess the most challenging thing would be getting business owners that have their financials organized. In the sense of if you're wanting to buy a business, or you're wanting to buy a business, or even you that you have a meal prep business, let's say you want to buy another meal prep business, what are you going to want to see? You're going to want to see their profit and loss statements showing the money that it's making. You're going to want to see, tax returns. You're going to want to see an inventory list. And oftentimes when we request these things from people that want to sell, they don't have it. So I'd say that's kind of the harder part, is displaying the value of a business when the owner doesn't have his accounting right.
What has been an obstacle for you that has came to your life that you overcame and made you a bigger person? Say.
It's a good question. I think every day, man. I think business every day it's obstacles. I think if people say it's easy, they're lying.
Yeah.
If people say it's like not hard, they're lying to you. People want to give off a facade of like, oh, business is so easy. Look at all this money we're making and this, but they don't tell you about the taxes. They don't tell you about employees leaving, employees stealing from you.
Yeah, man, it gets difficult, right?
So like every day there's an obstacle, but I guess it's just the desire to have your dream be true and be in your life. If you have that why, it sounds cliche, but like if you have your reason on why you're going to keep dealing with the difficulties, it makes it easier, but it's not easy.
It's very true. Very true, very true. Would you like to add on,
Yeah, I wanted to cut in first. Almost thanks, Eric, for coming to the podcast.
Thank you, brother.
First of the first, being those. I wanted to start off my questions with a comment. First, congratulations.
Thank you.
And what is that like? What's your experience on that? How you said it, planned it, but in the business aspects, bringing a child into this world, you have your business, success, because you're very successful, I've seen. I just wanted a little bit of input because you're bringing your child into this world, and how does that impact your business?
I think it's just like having another family member at the house, having someone that you love there at the house. It's like
and add on to the legacy.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to necessarily maybe it might be more motivating, but I hear a lot of guys say like, and I don't know if you guys as guy friends say this too, where it's not really like you get the motivation when she's in the stomach. It's more so when they're out and they hold their kid for the first time, where that like motivation hits them. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. That's something I'm looking forward to, but it's like different right now. It's like in her stomach, so it's kind of like, oh cool, this is a cool little bump right here,
Having to accommodate to your wife, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, man. Like I always say, bringing a child into this world it's definitely a big step. So I congratulate you on that, and
thank you, brother.
Taking the step and being an actual man. There's a lot of people out here not really understanding how to bring in a child or where they need to start.
Yeah.
So it's always refreshing to hear men like you, getting at it. It's not going to change anything. If anything, you're just on the ball, rolling. It's cool, brother.
Sweet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it's a blessing, bro. As soon as I found out that you were pregnant, that your lady was pregnant, I was like, wow, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
Known you for so many years, bro. It's cool, brother. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a good new step.
Having a little family, making something together, that's so beautiful, bro. It's just such beauty in it.
Thank you, man.
Wish you nothing but blessings on that, brother. And again, back to the business, brother. What advice can you give to young entrepreneurs right now, at our age or even older? What should be their steps? What should be their mindset?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pretend right now that like that camera is, the youth of El Paso, and I'm trying to just tell them the 2 cents.
I like that.
I would say the first thing is, and this was probably the hardest for me, is if you know you're entrepreneurial and you have your goals and your dreams, and your circle is a circle that's into bad habits, in the sense of that they have zero ambition to do anything productive with their life to be a better version of themselves. And that's kind of like the first root layer that I'd follow, is like, hey, trying to improve the quality of what you're doing with your friends. That was like my first layer. I went from having friends that just wanted to party, just wanted to drink, just wanted to do all the basic, young El Paso stuff, and switched to a circle that was like, what's some business ideas? Let's watch some Shark Tank. Let's do a vision board and things like that. So I mean, that's kind of like the first phase is elevating your circle. I would say the second phase is, once you determine what kind of business you do want to do, studying that particular type of business very well. One of the first things I did when I wanted to get into drop shipping, I would go walking to the library near my house with a composition book, and I didn't have a computer at the time. I didn't even have Wi-Fi in my house. So we'd go into the library, and I'd be filling my composition book through the computer there, notes on how to drop ship, how to do a Shopify store. I'd have my headphones on watching these YouTube videos. So getting that initial education, and then once you fill up your composition book, and that gives you confidence to feel like, hey, I do kind of know what I'm doing, then pursuing doing that. And it's gonna be hard. You're not gonna become, rich right away. It's a patience game. It's false to tell people that it's right away. You have to have patience. You have to have perseverance, humility, and you gotta love it.
I totally agree with that. I believe that building a business is kind of a spiritual thing, because you have to see the vision and you have to believe in yourself at the same time. And there could be so many obstacles from people, like, there's always somebody like wishing bad on somebody or somebody not agreeing with your plan. But that's when you have to disconnect that, detach from people's opinions, and just go full on out on whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, dude. One big thing I follow is like, don't even tell anyone. Like, why are you even gonna tell me?
My mom's a big believer of that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is, it's kind of going back to the Pursuit of Happiness. That scene where the son he's trying to play basketball and he shoots the hoop and his dad's like, you can't do that. And then later the dad sees the son's reaction of him getting sad, and the dad tells him like, hey, just because I can't do it, because I don't have that self-belief of the ability to accomplish that thing, doesn't mean that I need to project that onto you and make you believe that. And that's something that a lot of people do.
That's
is like,
amazing.
if he tells me, hey, you know what, I'm going to be the biggest streaming artist in El Paso, if I don't have my own self-belief in that, then I'm going to, tell him something that's going to make him think he can. And he doesn't need that energy. If he just keeps it to himself and he does the work behind it, then he'll achieve it.
And those are powerful words right there. Very powerful words.
Very true. It really does hit like deep to heart, because I'm pretty sure most of us like have our tribulations and have our certain situations that we go through, even as businessmen, entrepreneurs, artists, yeah. Shout out to me.
Yeah, the homie Nino makes music out here in El Paso.
It's just so real, man, because at the end of the day, the messages that exactly bouncing off what you said, the more that you speak of, like, to these people, they're not going to understand where you're going at. You kind of just have to push through it and push through it, even like Jesus, like, what I'm saying? He had a mission, and sure, he had his disciples around him and everything, but they weren't always supportive, They were plotting.
Yeah.
Some of them were plotting.
Judas.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy, it's a big sacrifice that he made for us, but also he accomplished his mission, sacrificed for all of our sins, and I just think it's very bold, it's very great, and that's what we're on. We're taking names, we're bringing in checks, we're doing it for our family, and the benefit of all of us.
Yes, sir.
So,
Amen.
I mean, it's good to be here and speak like words like this in front of a camera, or even off the camera, just to people themselves. Like, we need to focus and dial in and lock in, because if we don't, then it's that game of, oh, what could I have been?
Yeah.
What dream did I give up to do something else? You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
it's crazy. Like, get a little bit deep, but you know what I'm saying?
That's
It's
what
crazy.
we want, man.
It's crazy.
We want to get deep, man.
Bro, to add on to that, man, I think when we have a dream, we have to give it all we got. And if it really means something to us, I think that we won't stop striving until we get to where we have to be. And that's the beauty of it, We're all just human beings trying to make it, And that's why we're making this podcast, to inspire, help out the community, and show you guys a little insights on somebody that's already successful, how they made these things happen for themselves.
To cut in real quick, let's talk about how we met, man. It's funny because we all kind of met each other at the same time. It was at daybreak. Josh, we all know Josh. He had reached out to Ruben for me, and Ruben was like, "Oh my God, like yeah, let's get you in this." So I went, I show up, meet Yazir, and we shook hands and everything. We talked a little bit about your business, and now look at you, man. I seen you doing the business talks. You know, you're partnering or like folks, kind of like an associate to Ruben and other entrepreneurs and big influencers in El Paso. And I just think you're doing a good job, man. I actually tuned in to one of those videos, so I was like, oh man, like, you know, it's good to listen to influential people. Even if you're influential, you can always learn off something. There's learning is limitless. It should be a mentality. It should be limitless, guys. Like it's very big because if you put limits on the smallest thing, like man, I'm not gonna have a good day. That's already a limit. Then psychologically, you're not gonna have a good day, and it breaks down that small. It's like a fundamental. So that's what I'm saying. Like your base has to be strong, and I'm pretty sure you come with your A game every day. And even if when you don't, you're self-talking words of affirmation to yourself. Yo, you know what? This might have happened, but let's dial in a little bit more. Let's get this rolling.
Yeah,
and that's how it is, right?
Absolutely.
It's funny because I actually called you one time. Remember that I had asked you, hey brother, information on the lines for emotions.
Yeah.
You know, so one thing about me, I'm big on the brain. You know, I think it's crucial to have a strong, healthy brain at all times. You know, the subconscious mind, it could be really tricky. You could be a very smart person. You could have big dreams. You could have whatever. But if your subconscious mind is not going where you have to go, you're not going to get to your destination. So I think it's a good thing to align your subconscious, you know, with your conscious mind and make a conscious decision of, hey, I want to get this done. I want to achieve this goal. I want to give it all that I got. You know? Yeah, brother. I know. I watch a lot of Jay Shay. I tried to, man.
He's one of the best ones, man.
That's the dream, bro. LaPlatica915.
LaPlatica915.
One thing I want to touch on that you were just talking about is like learning from other people. I think that's something so important, especially here in El Paso. Like, if you have, and this is one thing I always tell myself, and I think it's helped me a lot, is like having the humility to know that you don't know everything, and being willing to learn from people. You know, if you could you know, drop your ego, have humility, and say to yourself like, hey, this person has knowledge, and I'd love to learn from them. And pursuing that, I think that's one of the things that's helped me so much. Is I'm always looking to learn from people. I'm always looking for advice. I'm always looking to get guidance on how I could make things better. Like, you know, whether it's a chef, whether it's, you know, an accountant, whether it's another entrepreneur, I'm always like, hey, you know, what's your advice for this? What's your advice for this? So adding that to your life of not trying to come off like, yo ya sé todo. I already know how to do this marketing stuff. I already know how to do this. Like, you know, accepting that through humility, you could learn so much from someone. That's fun, dude.
All right, so
No,
I
I'm not tripping, bro.
wanted to see some of this, brother.
I don't even know how to pronounce your last name, to be honest with you.
Right?
God bless America for, you know, coming through with the food stamps and the WIC, because I lived off of that stuff like all of my childhood.
But I remember when my mom was working 3 jobs. Like I was always at home washing dishes, you know. She might say no, but I was definitely.
Like one of the best things that ever happened to me once I started doing good was like thinking to myself like, oh man, I could go to Walmart and I could just like fill this cart.
These powerful women in our lives, they speak a lot of influence, not by words, but actions. Those independent mothers that are working out there, that are going to their job, not missing hours, and are crying over missing hours. Like those are the ones that motivate young men, where we were all at in one point of our life, to be better, you know, to strive for better. Because a real man is a provider.
It's an iconic day today.
Yeah.
An iconic day. Nah, just kidding.
So let's get a little bit deep. It's just, yeah, I know, but I don't know if I should share this experience, but I think it's gonna help out.
You do it. Just do it perfect. Yeah. How do you do it, bro?
Good.